I was the epitome of having everything that people dream of and being completely unhappy. And
That's real.
it's very real. I call it a luxury prison, being in a 7,000 square foot house by yourself, grinding all day. I've just been relentlessly consistent for 8 years now. I've never missed a week. People become so accustomed to disappointing themselves that there's no repercussions. That's the secret sauce, is just starting and never giving up.
You got to put yourself first. If you put everybody else first, then what about you, right? You got to pour into you before you pour into others.
If you keep doing the right things, it's guaranteed to work out. I'm really bullish on the fact that in real estate, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your habits. The more people who know you, the more deals you do.
Welcome back to the NAHREP South Florida podcast. I'm your host, Cindy Summer Perez, real estate broker associate with the Ivan and Mike team at Compass, Florida, and your president for 2025 for NAHREP South Florida. This podcast, as you already know, is about bringing experts into the room so that we can learn, we can grow, and can go deeper than we can at our live events. Today, I am joined by none other than Mr. Mike Sherrard. Hey, he is a leading real estate strategist and content creator, helping agents scale through personal branding, social media, and AI. As the founder of the Social Agent Academy with over 7,000 members and host of the largest social media-focused YouTube channels for realtors, Mike has helped thousands of agents create life-changing success. This includes new agents earning over $1 million in commission. I'm next. I'm not new. I'm going to hear everything you have to say. In their first year, solely from organic content on platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Mike, bienvenido to our podcast.
Gracias.
And welcome to Miami.
Thank you.
How many days has it been?
Two.
2
beautiful days.
A lot of palm trees.
A lot of palm trees. A lot of celebrities. It's crazy going around Brickell. So
you are the celebrity walking around Brickell.
Right. Yeah.
Hola familia, my name is Cindy Summer Perez and I am the 2025 president for the NAHREP South Florida chapter. NAHREP is the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals, and our mission is to advance sustainable Hispanic homeownership. With over 100 chapters nationwide and more than 58,000 members, we're proud to be part of a powerful network making a difference. Our local South Florida chapter, also known as the Miami chapter 305, is ranked top 10 in the nation and number 1 in the Southeast region. Standard membership is just $49 a year when you select the South Florida chapter as your home chapter, and that gives you discounted pricing on our 4 local events plus regional and national events. Or you can go for the Platinum membership at $250 and enjoy universal membership across all chapters in the region. Register now at nahrepsouthflorida.org/membership. And now let's get back to the podcast. I want you to tell me a little bit about you, what brings you to Miami so that the audience gets to know you.
Yeah, a little bit about me. For me, I've just always had like this driving impact to make an impact on other people's lives. And for me, I think there's phases in life, and I've always kind of been prompted to come down here. And I think one of the things that I love about Miami is opportunity and just like the energy around. And I kind of hit a plateau in my own life where I felt lonely. I was alone and I didn't have anybody around me that was kind of like-minded. And all things kept pointing here, obviously knowing Mike and Ivan and a lot of good friends. And so for me, this just seemed like the next ascension to start to create balance in life, because I was the epitome of, I usually don't talk about this, but I was the epitome of having everything that people dream of and being completely unhappy. And
that's real.
It's very real. And it's the stuff that nobody talks about. Like, people see the car I drive, the house I live in, the trips that I go on, which is all of 1% of my life. And they think that that's my everyday life. And they're not seeing what I've done for the last 8 years, sacrificing, I call it a luxury prison, being in a 7,000 square foot house by yourself grinding all day. And I just said, enough is enough. But I needed a change of environment to force myself to enter a new chapter in life. And so that's why, knowing incredible people down here that are genuine, that are humble.
Thank you.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
The humble part goes out.
Yeah. So there's limitations, but now we're here and excited. It's just a really, really cool time. And I think it's at the right time because it's getting close to winter in Canada.
Yes.
And that is the time where there's nothing to do but work. And I said, okay, I need to get out of here. And here we are.
It's like -1 Celsius in Canada.
-1. That's
like 30
-11
degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
So you're trading -30 degrees Fahrenheit for palm trees.
Love it.
So
and lizards.
And lizards.
Yeah.
What you love. Okay.
Love
and there's something that you mentioned the other day, and you were talking about your humble beginnings. And I think that people really need to hear that because they only see what you just said, the cars and all the good things, but they only see the tip of the iceberg.
Mm-hmm.
So can you tell us a little bit about your humble beginnings all the way to here?
Yeah, definitely. Like there's a memory that I'll never forget. And growing up, like we didn't have a lot of money at all and lived in like a small house and my dad always had to work. And long story short, I'll never forget, I was obsessed with cars. There's not one exotic car where I grew up, none. And I always had magazines of cars and I fell in love with Lamborghinis. And that's, it's not the clout version of a Lamborghini that I see frequently, but that's why I wanted to get into mechanical engineering because I love the design of cars and watches. And so that was what my degrees turned into. But I'll never forget driving around downtown one day with my dad. And I said one day, I must have been 10 or 12. And I'm like, one day I want to drive a Lamborghini to work. And he looked at me and he's like, people from here don't do that. And I'll never forget that because my parents are the most supportive people ever. Mm-hmm. But their limitation on knowing what's possible was capped based on where they were growing up.
Right.
And so that just stuck with me because I was like, okay, one day I want to prove that wrong. And so I got into engineering. I ended up quitting after getting recognized as a top employee of 60,000 in my first year because I just wanted more out of life. And I got into real estate, door knocked every day in the snow in -10 in Calgary for 6 months and started getting on social media. And when you have no money, there's only two things you could do, prospect and post. And I did both. And I posted consistently every year for 3 years and got no results. From YouTube. I was getting good results from Instagram, but I always knew like if one man or woman can do it, so can another. And I looked at all these other people that I admired, I looked up to, and they were consistent on YouTube. They had built the brand and it took years. And so my mentality is not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. If you keep doing the right things, it's guaranteed to work out. It's just on your own timeline or God's own timeline for you. Right. Not what you're forcing it to be. And so I learned very early on that expectations guarantee failure because you're going to put unrealistic expectations on yourself. And you're going to say, if this doesn't work out by this time, then I'm going to go try that. I'm going to go do this. And I've just been relentlessly consistent for 8 years now. I've never missed a week.
But go back for a second here because you say 3 years. So what happens after the first year that you didn't see happen? You're like, and then you give a second year. I mean, why didn't you quit after the second year? And then you went another third year.
Yeah.
What were you getting? Like, did you watch someone do it for that long? Or were you just like relentless about, I'm going to make this happen regardless of how many years it takes me?
Yeah, it was a blend of me wanting to just do whatever it took in order to see success. And then also having like that purpose, that mission, and that why. And so, when I had this dream of buying my mom her dream car for Christmas or taking my parents on their dream trips, I always thought about that. And I think one of the things, especially in real estate or business entrepreneurship, is that people become so accustomed to disappointing themselves that there's no repercussions.
Yes.
But when you disappoint somebody you love, it's a radically different experience. So when I told them, hey, when I hit this in my life, I'm doing this for you, on all the days I thought about quitting, I just thought about that memory of like, how are they going to feel when I actually make something happen that they've never dreamed was possible for them? And that's where I just kept on going. And so after 1 year, I had 157 subscribers. Most were my friends. And then
That's
after,
how you start.
yeah, that's how you start.
Okay.
After 2 years, 1,000, 3 years, 1,700. And timing is everything in life.
Yeah.
And so enter 2020 when COVID hit, and I was the only one really actively putting out social media content for real estate agents. Everyone gets locked in their house. The only thing they can do is build their brand on social media. And I had this cute little, channel with value that people could consume. And that year, my brand went from 1,700 to 3,000 to 20,000 to 50 to 100,000.
Wow.
And now I've made over $10 million from that YouTube
alone?
channel. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. And you're going to come and teach us to do that. I mean, I was deep diving into your videos. I'm like, there's no way. I need you to break it down, because when you first got started doing it, what was your budget?
Free. I had no budget. So when I graduated university, my gift was from my parents was a $250 GoPro Hero 3 from 2012.
Is that what you were using to record?
So what I used to do, because I was so terrified of the camera, I was so embarrassed, I was so petrified, that I used to I started at Remax when I was a new agent. I had a fob that I could get in, and I would go there at midnight because I knew nobody else would be there. And I would stack my books up and put my little GoPro on top. And I looked like a sad little puppy dog. If you see my first videos, like, I'm so terrified of the camera. But I was like, you have to get started. And then every year I just got a little bit better, reinvested 30% of every commission back into my business to help it grow. And now, it's changed, but I got started with what I had. And the craziest part is every single one of the agents I've helped that has made over $1 million in 12 months uses their phone. All of them. I
use my phone.
Yeah.
I mean, this podcast started with my phone.
Yeah.
And now we have a camera. So I love that. So 30% of your commission, that was the math for you, and it worked out. And so I'm curious, for one of the things that you're going to be doing is coming to our event live. And depending when you're watching this podcast, you're either the event is going to happen or it's already gone. So I want you to break down a little bit about, like, what advice would you give to new agents? You talk about, you don't need to have experience. You don't need to be an expert. You don't need to be on the news. None of that. You can start with just your phone at home. What is the first step?
First step, I think, and this is going to sound so cliche, but it's just the fact, is like, you have to make a commitment. The only time I've ever seen people succeed is when they lack core values. And so I'm really bullish on the fact that in real estate, you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your standards.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so when you look at this, like, anybody that I've seen win, they embrace delayed gratification. They're super disciplined, and they focus on one thing at a time.
Which is why you go to the gym at 5 a.m.
Exactly.
Let's go.
So, that's the secret sauce, is just starting and never giving up. Yeah. And that's where, again, people historically have this habit where they're going to get all excited by coming to an event, and they're going to get super pumped, and they're excited for 2 days. And then reality sits in when they realize there's no, secret sauce to have a shortcut to success. It actually is hard. And then they get burnt out and deflated, and they're like, it doesn't work for me. And then they go on to the next thing. Yeah. Instead of just saying, like, anybody that I've helped win, their perspective is, I'm going to do this forever until it works out, not if it works out. And so that perspective is critical.
So I want advice from me, because I'm going to be selfish here, because since I'm here.
Oh, you got a lot of work.
This is how you win.
Oh, okay.
You got to put yourself first. If you put everybody else first, then what about you? Right? You got to pour into you before you pour into others.
Correct.
This is what I'm practicing daily. I'm not afraid of the camera. I've done this before. My issue is I'm so slammed with doing things on a consistent basis, because I'm doing production, I'm doing showings, I'm doing all the things. I have 2 full-time assistants that are helping me with, and I still don't find the time. Do you recommend that I set a date for recording, or like what do you recommend for someone who's busy but wants to get into it? Yeah.
So probably not the answer you want to hear, but this is all about being honest. You'll always make time for your priorities.
Ooh,
and, I tell this, like, the example that I use for people, which I think, like, really connects with them, is like, let's say today, the price point here is ridiculous. Let's say today you've got 11 back-to-back $3 million listing appointments.
Oh, we're doing it.
And then on the third one, your mom, your dad, your kid calls you up and says, hey, I'm in the hospital. I need you right now. Are you going to say, sorry, I'm too busy. I don't have time. I've got $1 million listing appointments. Or are you going to drop everything you're doing to go take care of your family?
I'm dropping everything.
Because it's your priority. And so not having time is simply a facade of not aligning priorities with the things that you want to do. And for me, I find that when it comes to things like YouTube or being able to create evergreen content, that is the antidote to being too busy. Because when you don't have content or clients coming directly to you every single month that turn into closed deals, you're busy finding clients, servicing them, nurturing them. But when they come directly to you, you become less busy. And so it becomes the antidote to being overwhelmed. But again, it's one of those things where, to your question, you have to time block accordingly. And so for me, this is one of the most interesting things. I had this conversation with one of my agents the other day because she was like, how much time should I block off? And my answer was twice as much time that you think so that you can guarantee you're not going to fail. So if you think you only need to block off 4 hours a week, like I engineer success into my calendar. So I block off every Saturday, 8 a.m.
That's good.
to 8 p.m. to create content.
Wow.
It takes me from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Okay, but how many videos are you doing? Because you're a machine.
Yeah, anywhere from 10 to 30.
Okay.
And so for me, it's just like so many people, again, are trying to condense time instead of just giving that breathing room to say, how do I block off enough time to guarantee I can't fail? And how do I block off so that way you're going to be consistent instead of rushing it, getting overwhelmed and things like that. So I think it really just comes down to proper priority management and allocating your time accordingly.
Yeah. You do a lot of really cool things in your videos. And when I say cool, I think about, like, you have your iPad, you're writing on your iPad, you have the camera on the iPad, and we're also seeing you. I mean, this is expert level. You can't watch Mike and then say, I'm going to do this tomorrow, because it won't happen, because you did not start this way.
Yeah.
So as somebody that wanted to replicate what you're doing, because you're not doing the editing yourself. Are you doing the editing yourself? Okay. There's a lot that happens behind the scene, and there's a process to this. So if I got started and I said I didn't have time, then you recommend I get an editor to help me do that? Like, what is your advice on the steps to take?
It really depends on your financial position, right? Like, I'm a huge advocate. The number one thing that makes a difference on YouTube is your thumbnails. And so thumbnails versus editing, because people spend so much time, and you'll see this here in the industry. You see people that have like the sexiest videos on the planet. They're shot to the nines, incredible quality, 17 views. Why? Because nobody clicked on it.
Your thumbnails are really simple.
So exactly, because we test it. We've tested thousands and they work. And so that's where the first allocation of money that I recommend is your thumbnails, graphic design, because most realtors love to be busy instead of productive. So they love to tinker around on Canva for an hour thinking they're being productive. But all that is busy work. It's like, how are you going to make a $500 to $1,000 an hour if you're doing $10 an hour activities?
Yeah.
You're never going to do it. And so that's my recommendation. But in the beginning, sometimes you've got to do everything.
Yeah.
Like in my third year, I tripled my production. I was the top producer. I put out 3 YouTube videos a week, edited myself, thumbnails myself, filmed myself, managed myself entirely, because I'm like, I have to do this. And then over time, you need to invest back into your business, right? And that comes in the form of, I think, content. It comes in the form of client experiences. I think that is a massive missed opportunity right now that I did very well as a realtor. That was the one of the top reasons why I scaled so fast.
Okay. So at first you were doing videos for clients to attract clients, right? And then you switched over and now you're doing videos to train agents. And you've done this for over 7,000 people that you've trained.
Yeah.
And I mean, you've changed the game. You become the #1 trainer coach in all of the nation in your brokerage right now. And that's massive. And it didn't come by just like overnight.
Yeah.
So sex takes time.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what you're going to be teaching at the event. Just like give me like a 5-minute overview of that someone can be watching this and take practical steps for them to get it done. I mean, they can always go to your videos and watch, but
Yeah. Well, the thing is we're entering what I refer to as like the parting of the seas when it comes to real estate with technology, with artificial intelligence, and with the disruption of what's happening across the landscape of the industry. And so there's going to be a lot of people that aren't prepared for what's happening right now. And so my job
Mhm.
is, how can I give you tactical steps to prepare for that? So when you look at it, for example, historically, a lot of the big teams, names, brokerages have all spent a ton of money on like their Google website and Google blogs, because the consumer behavior was, I'm going to go on Google, I'm going to look at the top blogs, I'm going to click on them, and then I'll reach out to an agent. But now that Google has AI overviews where it gives you one response and nobody looks, it's called zero click response.
Okay.
People don't have to click to get the answer. Same with ChatGPT, your best friend. And so when
It's Uncle Chat.
Uncle Chat, yeah, he's doing well for you. Um,
He's my other assistant.
yeah, but the things are changing, and so there's two components to this. Number one is being found as an agent, right? So in before 2000s, it was the more people you know, the more deals you did as a real estate agent.
Yes.
Now it's an era where the more people who know you, the more deals you do. But the problem is people have to find you. And the best way to be able to be found is to get recommended by things like ChatGPT, artificial intelligence, and Google when people
Mm.
are searching for the best agent, the best community, the best buildings, the best new developments. And so I'm going to break down extremely tactical steps that anybody can take for free in order to get recommended. A little side note that's actually kind of cool. Currently, the one recommended right now for South Beach is our lovely friends Mike and Ivan.
You looked it up?
I looked it up.
On Uncle Chat?
On Uncle Chat. Yeah, he served us well. But then the second thing, and I think this is the biggest opportunity for agents, is because we have now immediate solutions to everything with artificial intelligence, it's leveled the playing field. So, for example, the agents that have coached, or even me, I've spent over $1 million on personal development in the last 5 years. I have
Wow.
a massive unfair advantage when I'm applying what I know, because I know more than the average person,
Yeah.
and you can only execute based on your knowledge base. Mine's expanded. So when you look at this in the past, if you were in Miami, for example, and you wanted to start a YouTube channel, you used to have to go up against people that have spent tens of thousands of dollars getting coached on YouTube, who know all the secrets, all the answers, all the strategies. How do you keep up with that? But now I'm going to show people, even give the exact prompts that you can do to get better results than from day one for free. And so it's leveled the playing field to the point where now you don't have to have this extensive background. You can go straight to what works immediately.
That's amazing. I'm telling you, I did a deep dive in one of the videos, and I think it's genius the way that you asked ChatGPT, like you just said, who's the number one real estate agent in South Beach? And then you pull up every single person that popped up there and looked at why they showed up.
Mm-hmm.
And then going to those websites, say somebody wrote an article, going to that person, then provide articles for that. I think it was genius. And which is the same way when I got on Univision, which is, do you know what Univision is?
I can't wait to find out.
It is a major news channel in Miami, Latin America.
I'll be tuning in.
It's like whatever, ABC, whatever, like any news. So anyway, I got to go. And one of the things that he told me is, instead of me reaching out to you, I would love for you to feed me the information. And that's another step to take as an expert in your area, so that they start to see you as somebody who can actually like support. So I will be taking that. I know some of the things you're going to be teaching. I'm like, let me just go check, online first, because YouTube is free, you guys. And Mike has hundreds and hundreds and thousands of videos online that you can be watching right now, and it's for free. And I love that you shared when you were, walking around Brickell, that somebody recognized you. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's really interesting because I don't have millions of people. I don't get millions of views like some of the people in Miami that have more broad audiences. And so it's actually one of those interesting things where reality doesn't set in until you either go to an event or when you go to a big city, in the sense of like, for example, when I went to my first EXP event, like my videos were getting 1,000 views maybe. And I always question, like, does anybody really care? Like, does anybody care? It's not that many people watching it. And I'll never forget going to that event, having grown men and women crying, coming up, wanting to
Aw.
take photos, saying I changed their life.
Wow.
Even, for example, the guy that invited me to be a best man at his wedding in Mexico, right? Had no idea who he was, but because he followed the strategies, he was able to afford his dream wedding. And that happened this morning. I was in the elevator and it was about to close, and this guy runs over and he's like, "Are you Mike Sherrard?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, dude, I was following your videos when I was 17 years old. 7 years later, he just brought his first Lamborghini and he's making over $1 million a year." And he pointed out one specific video that I did on a Facebook retargeting ad. And he was like, "That helped me get my first 17 listings from that free video."
17 listings.
17 listings.
It's stupid.
And so for me, like, my goal has always been to deliver for free what most of these like coaches charge thousands of dollars for.
Why do you do that?
Because I think that there's a lot of selfish people out there that are just concerned about their own income. And if I looked at anybody, you look at the book over your shoulder, if you look at anybody that's achieved massive success, they've over-delivered on free value to the point where it comes back tenfold at some point. Gary Vaynerchuk, Alex Hormozi, all these people that are admirable give enough for free for somebody to actually take action. But then you look at the people that have short-lived careers or end up getting featured on some Instagram accounts like Baller Busters talking about, the scams. Yeah, well, you said it, not me. I want to remain in Miami's good books for now. But they just, all they care about is making money for themselves. And what I've realized is that all of this money can go away tomorrow. All of it can disappear. But what can't is the lives you've changed and the man or woman you become. Yeah. And so my goal is, how many lives can I change and how can I become the best man possible to show up for people in a better way? Yeah.
Miami can be a tough place because it's a lot of just, mirrors, smoke and mirrors. That's the saying. So I love that you're coming from a place, you're humble, you're coming from a place, like a good place. It comes from the heart. You have a big why. And I think that those agents that have a big why and they really want to move forward and they apply themselves, they can get to where you are today.
100%. And it's even just like, it's so rewarding. Like one of the agents that I'll talk about that I helped make $1 million in his first year, like I got a novel of a message from his wife, just being like, "You've changed our family forever." He's now been with me for 4 years. He's made $6 million in commission.
When are we starting?
Yeah. Soon.
I'm not gonna get mad at you.
Yeah. And so for me, like, that's the most fulfilling thing, is just seeing like the impact that you can have of just putting out free stuff that genuinely comes from a place of love and care and help, because it's not easy, it's overwhelming, it's exhausting, but you have to do it for a bigger version than yourself. And I think, again, like, when God has a purpose for you, I feel like certain people are conduits for impact. And for me, like, I feel like I'm called to be able to change these lives of people that maybe aren't fortunate enough to have direction. And I can come from a very relatable place to a lot of people where, my parents didn't have money. I'm from a town of 6,000 people. Like, I was not the popular kid. I was bullied in high school. I was petrified of social media. I was overweight. I've dealt with all the hate. I've had everybody try and take me down. I've had like everything that could go against you, I've had multiple times over. And so I can come from this place of humility to being like, "Hey, you're facing this. Guess what? Me too. I went through that. But here's what we can do to get over it together."
And that's also what keeps you anchored. Once you get to become a butterfly and you're getting all of the attention and all of the good things and all the material things, then you know where you came from. Yeah. That's really powerful.
And it's so funny. Like, I think that's having a family unit that supports you and understands who you are is critical, because I'll never forget this. I love cigars. I don't have them often, but I like the culture of them. And what I mean by that is, I always say a cigar is a commitment to time, in the sense of it's an hour and a half, and it's either an hour and a half where you're going to be by yourself and I'll sit on my balcony and just reflect on life, say prayers and embrace life. Or it's an hour and a half with somebody else where it's just you two, no phones and nothing, hour and a half. And so for me, I've always been passionate about it. But one day I posted a photo in Hawaii of me smoking a cigar, and I immediately got a call from my mom. "Who do you think you are, trying to act cool with a cigar like that? That's not my boy." And I'm like, "Mom, just listen, like, I I'm not trying to flex. Like, I just like this stuff. But my parents are the
Wow.
first to call me out if they see anything that they would consider being off the cuff of like who they know me to be.
Shout
And
out to Mama
so
Sherrard.
Mama Sherrard, she's an angel. Yeah, yeah. And so I appreciate that.
Yeah. And you just had your sister just got married.
Yeah.
And do you want to share that you took care?
Oh yeah, fucked it all up. I don't know if I can swear.
No, but the fact that you took care of the wedding, like,
Oh yeah.
to just say, oh my goodness, I'm taking care of my family.
Yeah.
You've got siblings, you've got parents, and you really do provide for them.
Yeah.
And I think that as a Latina, I mean, we're NAHREP, with the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals. A lot of us were not born here in the U.S. We come from other countries, and we come to the U.S. with a dream in our heart and our minds. And it's really that. It's number one, I want to come to this country to progress, to provide for my family, because they can't do it on their own.
Yeah.
And so you want to be the generational change for your family. And so you're doing that. And, you know, you're inspiring me, you're inspiring other people to do it. And that is, I'm just so excited to have you at our next event. I also do want you to tell us, like, how do I create systems? Like, once all of these leads are coming in, what systems can I have? Then maybe that's another video that you have in your YouTube, or something that you're going to be teaching.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. I think, like, you know, and shout out to all of our Latinas, because that's one of the things that I love is the respect for family. I think in certain cultures that's maybe lost. And the family values and coming from humble beginnings. And that's one of the things that I value about you and some of the other people, is just like being appreciative for anything. I hate when people are like expecting certain things, or there's like this feeling of obligation. But when you come from very little, like, you're grateful for somebody to bring you a coffee. Like, you're grateful for all the little things in life. And to me, that's worth its weight in gold. And those are the people that deserve the big things in life, because they'll appreciate it no matter what. And for me, it's the subtleties, right? I always say, if somebody wants the key to my heart, bring me a sugar-free Blue Monster, and your life will be changed.
You heard it here first.
Heard it first. Or Pura Vida. But like, again, that means the world to me, because it's like, oh, you know me. I would rather somebody bring me something from Pura Vida than something from Dior, because I'm like, oh, you know me. You care. You know what I care about.
You like Pura Vida that much?
I love anything that it proves that somebody knows who I am and what I value, which is not luxury things or fancy shit. And so for me, that's everything. But to go back to your question, the best part about YouTube and generating inbound leads, like, I track this religiously. The average person in my group converts at 94% with no follow-up. And so when you look at this, it's the best part, because you attract your tribe, right? Your vibe attracts your tribe. And so when you look at this, like, you never deal with any nightmare clients, because if they don't like you and you're being authentic on camera, they're not going to reach out to you. So who are the only people that reach out?
The people who laugh at my jokes.
Yeah, which is why there's so few. Wow. But yeah, it's like, you get to work with your dream clients who love you, appreciate you, value your time. You don't have to deal with commission, negotiations, and it's just a dream situation. And that's why, like, if you want to make real estate fun again, that's the easiest way to do it, is have people coming directly to you who appreciate you and want to work with you.
Yes, that's good. Okay, since we went into the getting to know you type of part, I'm going to switch gears, and I'm going to do rapid fire questions.
All right,
are you ready?
Gear, here we go.
Okay. All right, favorite Miami place you've been to so far, not including Pura Vida.
Well,
can't say that one.
Can't say Pura Vida. I'm going to go a bit of a different answer to this, but my absolute favorite place to stay at is one hotel in South Beach.
Fun.
Yeah.
Okay, we like the one hotel. One belief you're breaking up with. What is it?
One belief I'm breaking up with?
Yep, this next year.
This next year, honestly, is that I think this whole new chapter is proof of it, is that I had a limiting belief that I had to stay in Calgary for my family. But what I didn't realize is my parents came to me and said, we would rather you be happy. And I was limiting myself, thinking they wanted me to be there. And so I stood there and stayed there, sacrificing, honestly, the last 3 years of my life to be there. Yeah. And the entire time, they actually have been encouraging me to leave, because they just want to see me happy.
And Miami brings you happiness.
Here we are.
Here we are. Okay. Shameless plug, dating edition. You ready? You're single, you're in your 30s, and you want to be a husband and a dad. So for everyone watching, what are you looking for?
What am I doing it for?
What are you looking for?
What am I looking for?
Yeah.
So for me, I think the number one thing that I'm looking for is somebody that appreciates me for me, not for what I have. Because again, all of it can disappear tomorrow. And so if you care and get to know the man that I am and you value that and who I become as a provider and a partner, then I'll give the world to that person.
Yeah.
But it can't be for my car, for what I have, for anything like that, because that's not what got me to this point. And so for me, I just want somebody to get to know me for me. You can't be a picky eater because that's a pet peeve. So be willing to try things. And if you're adventurous, like that's what I love. I love people that are down to try anything, travel the world, do adventurous stuff, and experience life to the fullest.
Yeah, that's kind of personal development because you're like
Huge
on that.
Like I want to make sure that at the end of every year, me and my partner can look back and say like, wow, I couldn't believe who I was last year because I'm just so much better this year. And I think there's a lot to contribute in different sides. Like, sure, I bring success on the financial side, but that's why I also value partnering with somebody in life that brings the balance side of it and being able to like pull me away from those habits of going back to work and create this more holistic approach to life and experiencing it the fullest. So I think you can always learn from a partner and having that yin and yang, and I'm excited.
As your CDO.
Yeah. Tell them what that means.
Chief Dating Officer.
Yes. You have to be the filter. So anybody has to pass the curly queen test.
I don't have my hair curly today, but my DMs are going to start flooding now just to check. But if someone, no, seriously, someone's looking to find you, to work with you, how can they find you? How can they be part of the Wolf Pack? Yeah.
Well, I think like even just leaving the Wolf Pack out of this, I just want to help people.
Okay.
Like people don't have to buy my programs. They don't have to join my brokerage. Like if you send me a DM, I'll reply on Instagram. If I have a video that is a solution, I'll answer it. If I don't, I do this all the time. People don't even know how much time I invest because it's not a waste to me. I'll create like 5-10 minute Loom videos to send to people as a response in a DM because I actually want to help. And so I'll give context layers because I want to see people win. And oftentimes there's a lot of people that don't have anybody that believes in them or wants to support them. And my hope is that I can be a little bit different.
And any other message that you want to give the audience? Just one takeaway or something you want to give them?
Yeah, either show up on the 23rd or if it's after that, then hit up Miss Cindy and get ready for the next time we collaborate on something special.
I love it. Thank you for being here today. And for everyone listening, remember to like and subscribe to our channel. If you're local to South Florida, I want to personally invite you to join our NAHREP South Florida chapter. Membership is just $49 a year. And that gets you access to 4 local events and access to incredible people like Mike that are coming to our event. And if you happen to be watching this prior to the October 23rd, we are having an after party and we're going to have salsa night. And you can come and teach Mike how to dance. More importantly, you'll be part of our big goal at NAHREP. And our goal is to grow to 500 active members by the end of 2025 as we pursue our road to chapter of the year. Again, this is Cindy Summer Perez, your 2025 NAHREP South Florida president, and I'll see you at our next podcast.